Hello, my friends. It is Sunday, so it's time for my mental health vlog. I'm in the bedroom today because my embroidery machine is running and I'm behind, so it needs to run. This week, I have been thinking a lot about getting older. Could be because my birthday is in a week and a half, and I'll be 42. And could be because I had to get new glasses with progressive lenses because my eyes are getting worse and I refuse to get bifocals. Um, could be because I watched a movie last night. Well, I was already thinking about getting older, but we watched a movie last night on Netflix called I Care a Lot, which deals a lot about getting older, not being able to take care of yourself, and finances, and how much things can cost. And I think that's the part that's been weighing on my head is I'm like, okay, I've got 20 years until retirement. I have very little saved up. And I'm not really going to be able to save up a whole lot for the next 10 years because of child support. So it's like that gives me 10 years to put enough money aside to survive on for the rest of my life, however long that may be. And that terrifies me. I mean, just this year alone, with insurance, out of pocket, I have already spent over $1,000 between psychiatrist and therapist and a doctor checkup and prescriptions and eye exam and glasses. And I'm lucky enough to have insurance and an HSA account through work. But what if I didn't have that? I'm reminded of an episode of The Golden Girls. The episode's called Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? And the girls end up in a homeless shelter looking for a jacket that has a winning lottery ticket in it that they accidentally donated. And while they're in there, Sophia runs into a friend of hers from Shady Pines who is homeless. And she says, "No one ever told me that getting old cost money. Doctors cost money, medicine costs money, living costs money." And that's kind of where my head is right now. It's like I'm scared. I see my mom who's getting up there in age and she's still working. I'm sure she'd love to retire, but she can't. My dad does the odd jobs here and there where he can, but he's not really physically able to work. Who's going to take care of me when I'm older? I mean, I've got my son, but I don't want. I would never want to be a burden on anyone. I have a hard time with that now, ever feeling like I'm a burden or a hindrance to anyone. So it's scary to think about getting older. There was some advice my uncle gave me when I was younger and just starting to work. I wish I had taken it. He said, when you start working, automatically put 10% of every paycheck into savings. By the time you get ready to retire, you will be set. And I remember thinking, I'll eventually do that. I'll eventually do that. But once you've got the money, it's really hard not to spend it, not to adjust your life to that level of income. And I know for some people it's so much harder because I've always been lucky to be employed, and there are people who aren't. So I recognize that that's a privilege that I have. But if I had just saved 10%, I'd be a lot less scared. So I hope that when my son starts working, and we're a couple of years away from that, but when my son starts working, I hope I can tell him that. And I hope he's able to do that. I hope he's a little more disciplined than I was. I had my therapy this week, and that was good. Therapist is happy with the progress that I've made and some of the breakthroughs that I've had with my sexual anorexia. So, keeping on there. I talked to her about this weird thing that happens to me every couple of years, and it's definitely too hard to explain to get into it too much in this video, but the only way I can describe it is crippling deja vu. I've had it 3 or 4 times in my life that I remember clearly, where I'm overwhelmed with visions and scenes from what I can only imagine are a dream that I've had or a life that I've lived before, and this gut-wrenching feeling that it's a cross between anxious and hungry and fear and nervousness, just all at once. Just a really weird feeling I've never been able to effectively describe. And I feel it mostly here in my gut, but I feel it all over my body. And usually it hits, and it does whatever it's doing, and then it goes away. But I got hit with one on Valentine's Day, on Valentine's night. And it took a couple minutes, and then it went away. But what I've noticed ever since then is every so often that feeling kind of surfaces a little bit. Not to the point where it's crippling, but just that it kind of like, it's like, blip, there it is. So we talked about that a little bit. I know it sounds crazy. Trust me, I know it sounds crazy. I've always chalked it up with the fact that I have a long lineage of witch history on my mother's side, so maybe it's just some kind of weird witch superpower I don't know how to tap into yet. So, my son came over on Friday night. That was nice because I didn't get to see him last week because of the cold weather. Definitely missed him. So he and my boyfriend and I, ordered pizza and played some video games. Just had a guy's night. I missed him a lot. And then Saturday, my boyfriend was busy doing stuff for his work, so we didn't have a whole lot of quality time together. And he keeps telling me, I'm so thankful and so grateful that you tolerate this. I'm like, well, it's you have to work. I don't really have a whole lot of choice. I can be an ass about it, but that just makes me an ass. So, of course, you do what you need to do. And when you have the free time, then we'll spend that time together. I'm not going to tell you can't work. I'm not going to tell you can't try and make a living. So, I don't know. He keeps thanking me for it, and to me, it's just a no-brainer. It's just, what's the alternative? So, but yeah, getting older, definitely on my mind. Definitely scary. I guess I'm lucky that my boyfriend is a little younger than I am, so he'll be able to maybe take care of me when I get old and senile. I guess I'm already a little senile. But yeah, getting old, definitely on my mind. But yes, my birthday is coming up in a week and a half, and Amazon gift cards are always appreciated. All right, guys, that's my time for this week. Take care of your friends. Tell them that you love them. Reach out to them. Everyone's still really isolated right now, and yeah, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and some people think it's a train, but just reach out to your friends. Reach out to your loved ones, your family. Remind them you love them. They're getting old too. they might be scared too. Talk about things like that. Make sure you have a plan in place, because I don't. And remind yourself that you love yourself, and part of your self-care should definitely be planning for your future, which I have neglected, or just found myself in many situations where I needed to pull from that 401k to take care of an emergency or take care of a situation, and never had the opportunity to put it back. I think a lot of Americans are like that. So now what? All right, guys, that's my time for this week. I love you all, and I will talk to you all next weekend. Bye.